Today there is a fantastic hop occurring over on Instagram with the design teams from Wow Embossing Powders and Gracielle Designs, featuring a huge selection of fabulous cards and inspiration using both their products. Gracielle has a stunning range of digital stamps, and today's video shows you how to use them with Wow's Fab Foils. I'm Verity and welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, why not think about subscribing so you won't miss out on my next video. With digital files, you need to print them off, and you can simply load them into Microsoft Word, resize and print. However, I'm going to show you how to use them with a digital die cutting machine, the Silhouette Cameo, to then cut the designs out. But don't worry, you can easily fussy cut them out too if you print them out through Microsoft Word. So once you've loaded up the design into the software, make sure you turn on the registration marks by opening up the page setup window and then selecting on the option in the registration marks to turn them on. This stamp is the full bouquet in the Grateful Heart digital stamp set, and I've adjusted it to the size of my liking and then positioned it within the clear space on the design area. So I'm making sure none of the design overlaps the cross hatching from the registration marks. In order to cut this out later, we need to create a cut line. So open up the trace window, and then with the select trace area selected, you need to draw a square around the design. And this will create yellow lines over the digital stamps design. Don't worry, that's not permanent. Next, select the trace outer edge, and this will create a cut line for the outline of the design. So that's creating a red cut line. Now, if we were to cut with this, it would then cut up against the design. But I want to add a small offset to the cut outline. So using the offset tool, open up the window and select offset at the top of the window. Now you can adjust the amount of offset with the distance option, and when you're happy with where the offset will lie, then press apply. So we now have a cut line around the design that's offset. However, just to make sure, you need to remove the inner cut line that surrounds the border of the design. Otherwise, later on when you go to cut this out, it will cut both of the cut lines. I want to show you this again. So this time we're going to do it with a digital sentiment. And this sentiment is from the Hey Friend digital stamp set from Gracielle Designs. And when loading it into your software, again, we won't have a cut line. So with the trace window open, draw a rectangle around the sentiment so the whole sentiment is highlighted. If you need to adjust the traceability of the design, you can adjust the threshold or the high pass fill options. Select the trace outer edge option again to create the cut line. Once more, open up your offset window, then with the cut line selected, and then adjust the distance of the offset before you press apply to create the offset cut line. Remember to delete the inner cut line so we don't cut this out later on. This is a great feature for scripty sentiments like this because you can easily trim around the sentiment to get that beautiful curve of the script, which you wouldn't be able to do if you were cutting it down with a guillotine. So I repeated this for a selection of sentiments from More Than You Know and You Matter digital stamp set from Gracielle Designs. When you're happy with the designs, then print this out on a toner printer. Now we need a toner ink because we're going to be foiling later on. It also allows you to use your alcohol markers with the toner ink. So here I'm using a selection of Copic markers to colour in the full bouquet from the Grateful Heart digital stamp set. The markers I've used are listed on the screen. So I'm initially adding the darkest colour towards the base of the petals where the shadows are, and then I'm going further out from the base, lighting the colour of the marker up. And once the petal is completely covered, I just go back in to darken the shadows up a little more with that darker colour and just smoothing the blend out. This is such a beautiful bouquet, and this is a lovely delicate floral centre with beautiful petals to colour in. Once the floral was complete, I'm then going in and colouring the leaves with a similar process. So I'm adding the darkest colour to the base of the leaves, but also to anywhere there is a line showing. So that line indicates there's a fold in the leaf. This helps to give the leaf more dimension when it's completely coloured. After I coloured the whole design, I'm going to foil all my digital stamps. So for this full bouquet, I'm trimming down a piece of Wow Fab Foil in rose gold, making sure it covers the floral design. In addition, I'm also using blush and violet Fab Foils for the sentiments. So I've got my ink machine turned on to setting 3, but you could use a laminator as well for this. And once the machine is warm enough, I then feed the design through my machine in a carrier sheet, but you could use a piece of paper folded in half as well. It works just as well. One thing that never tires with foiling is removing that foil to see the beauty underneath. This fall bouquet is stunning in the rose Fab Foil and really catches the light beautifully. Now, to cut this out with the Silhouette Cameo, place your cardstock onto a cutting mat and load this into your Cameo. And then in the send window in the software, you make sure the cut lines that are visible are just the offset cut lines that we created, and adjust the cutting settings according to your cardstock that you've used, so your blade and the depth. When you press the send button, the machine is then going to start looking for the registration marks printed on your cardstock. It's really important to ensure you have a good amount of light over your blade when the machine starts to register the marks. This will ensure registration occurs correctly. You can do a manual registration if the automatic registration fails at first time. Once the machine has finished, you are then left with your designs cut out, mimicking the shape of the design without you having to pick up a pair of scissors. So now I'm going to show you some more of Gracielle Designs digital stamps that I have foiled. So the first one is a lovely cupcake from the Cupcake Wishes digital stamp set, and I've Copic coloured this in prior to foiling. I'm also using a selection of backgrounds from the Wild and Whimsy digital paper pack, and the striped backgrounds are absolutely gorgeous. I love stripes, can't get enough of them. So for the cupcake, I'm foiling this in silver Fab Foil, as I wanted something to stand out against the bold pink icing, and when you remove the foil and reveal the design, it just looks absolutely stunning. I also wanted to show you can print and then foil on black card. Here I've covered the card with blush foil and used the hanging flowers from the Hey Friend digital stamp set, and the foil really pops off the black. Unfortunately, I ran out of time to use these in some cards at the moment, but they're there in my stash to use later on. The lemonade drink from the Happiness is Handmade digital stamp set was too cute not to foil, and I thought it would look gorgeous in the violet Fab Foil. I think the white and the violet foil really contrast and look stunning. Okay, so to turn these into cards, I've printed out a selection of backgrounds from the Wild and Whimsy digital paper pack, trimming them down to 5.5, 4.25 inches, or 5.25 and 4 inches. So for this first card, I've mounted the design number 6 from the backgrounds onto a pink card base, and then I'm foam mounting the Hey Friend die cut sentiment, which was foiled in blush Fab Foil. This background makes creating a card so quick and easy that all it needs was a sentiment just to finish it off. For the second card, I've used design number 4 from the paper pack and rotated the design 90 degrees counterclockwise. I'm then again adding a foiled die cut sentiment from the You Matter digital stamp set, and this reads, "No matter what you do, don't let go of your dreams." I foiled this in the blush Fab Foil just to pick up all those lovely pinks in those floral design. For the third card, I've used one of the striped backgrounds, and this is the darker blue out of the pack, and I've adhered this to a card base made out of edible eggplant cardstock from Gina. The cupcake was then cut out before I foam mounted it onto the card base, and I've added a sentiment from the Hey Friend digital stamp set. This sentiment reads, "You deserve lots of presents today," and it was foiled in violet Fab Foil. For the fourth card, I'm using the Cute Lemonade Drink, and I've adhered this onto a card base that has the pink stripes background added to it. In addition, I've also foiled the tag from the Happiness is Handmade digital stamp set onto black card and foiled this in silver. And I really love this pop of black on the card, keeping with the modern look to the card. To finish the card off, I've also added a little bit of twine around the rim of the glass and then adhered a bow over the top of the tag. For the last card, I've adhered the teal striped background onto a card base made out of soft stone Gina cardstock, and I've foam mounted the full bouquet onto the front, hanging it slightly off the edge. Next, I also add a violet Fab Foil sentiment from the U Matter digital stamp set and foam mounted this on top. Lastly, I trimmed the edge of the floral bouquet to match the card edge. And for a selection of these cards, I used some silver sequins or confetti mix, or even some clear rainbow drops from Lucy's cards to finish them all off. As I mentioned, this is part of an Instagram hop. You'll find a link to my Instagram in the comments below, so just hop on over and hop along for your chance to win a $75 prize pack. Let me know in the comments below which was your favourite card or even which was your favourite foil. If you enjoyed today's video, please give it a thumbs up and why not subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to hit that bell icon to be notified when the next video is up. This was produced as part of my design teamwork for Wow Embossing Powder, and links are listed below. For 10% discount on the shop, just enter that code, you can see it on screen. Also, why not check out this other video for some more inspiration. Until next time, happy crafting!